the end of the year, which means the end of a cycle. Ending of cycles can be at any time in our lives. So I've asked some of my friends and past guest experts on this podcast to give me their favorite release rituals. So stay tuned to listen to these rituals that you can do to help you release the end of the year or just release that funky, icky, stuck energy. These rituals are so good, and you can utilize them for different areas in your life. Welcome to Spiritual and Ambitious. I'm your host, Whitney McNeill. I'm a certified medium and spiritual teacher, and I help spiritual and ambitious souls just like you live your life purpose through your career and attract abundance by connecting into your intuition and spirit guides. Let's get spiritual and ambitious. Welcome to the last episode of 2023, but no matter when you're listening, these rituals can be so helpful. These releasing techniques don't just apply for 2023. They apply when you're releasing any kind of cycle in your life. And before we officially get started, I wanted to pull some cards as we close this year. And what you need to be doing right now from Spirit's perspective is 1, set boundaries. This is a card that is from my Messenger of Spirit Oracle deck, and it is the Protector Guide. It's time to set boundaries with someone. This is going to be really important for you so that you feel safe, you feel like you are having self-care, and that you're not giving your energy to everyone and everything. And then the next accompanying card is the detox card. It's time to purge, let go, release, and clear your energy. I can't make this stuff up. This is something that we definitely are going to be talking about. And my first guest is Kristin Dwan. She's been on this podcast before, and she's been a guest expert in my Aligned Spiritual Mentorship program as well. I've worked with her personally through hypnosis, and she is just a wealth of information. We're going to get started with this first release ritual. It's 5 minutes, and she's going to shed light on a bullshit bonfire. Fire can be very transformational. And when I first met her, she was talking about this. And so I've done a bullshit bonfire with her a couple times. And trust me, it's pretty amazing. So here's how to do it from Kristin.
Hello, this is Kristin from the Healing Woods. And I'm here to share with you one of my favorite end of year rituals, which I call a bullshit bonfire. If you're lucky enough to have a fireplace, have a fire going in your fireplace while you're doing this. If you don't have a fireplace, just have a candle. A candle will definitely work. And if you're using a candle, also have a big bowl or a big pot, something where you can burn a piece of paper or two in. So, at the end of the year, it's very easy to forget all of the things that happened in the previous 12 months. So I get out my Google Calendar. So get out whatever calendar you use and go all the way back to January and make 2 lists. One list is going to be all the things that you are so proud of, all of the goals that you accomplished, all of the new people that were added into your life, the new relationships that are happening, all of the things that you loved about the previous year. Then you're going to make a second list of the things that are getting in the way. Maybe it's people who are no longer in your life that you're still giving energy to. Maybe there was some goal that you were trying to accomplish, but it just never worked out and you need to release that energy. And now you've got these 2 beautiful lists. One is the list that you're walking into with your new year, and the other is the list that you're walking away from. So now take the one that you're walking away from, and now you're going to just think about other things that may not be on your calendar. Self-limiting beliefs, perhaps it's physical pain, emotional pain, anything that's getting in the way. And write all of that down on that list. Then you're going to go to your list for the new year, and now you're going to set some beautiful goals. What are the things that you want to walk into? The health. How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to feel in your mind and your heart? What are the things that you're bringing into your life? And when you feel complete with both lists, you're going to take the list that you're releasing. I call this the bullshit list. And you're going to stand in front of your fire or in front of your candle. And you're going to say, I immediately release, and then read off that list. Because it's one thing to think it and to write it, and it's another thing to actually say it. Because when we say it, we release it out of our throat chakras. So it's no longer sitting in our hearts, sitting in our guts, or sitting in our minds. And when you're finished saying your list, you're going to burn it. And you're burning it with love, thanking it for teaching you the very important lesson of what you do not want in your life. And now it's time for the list that you're walking into. This beautiful list of the life you're creating, the new year you're creating. And with this one, you're going to take your time and you're going to say, I immediately receive. And with each thing you wrote on your list, you're going to say it and then feel it, visualize it, see it happening in your life right now. So in other words, if you're bringing in abundance, you're going to imagine yourself looking at your bank statement and seeing that number go up. See yourself on those vacations. See yourself living in the dream place you've always wanted to. Have fun with this. You're a kid in the candy shop of the universe, and you're showing the universe exactly what you want. And with this list, you're going to keep this list, and there's many different things you can do with it. You can keep it on an altar and read it to yourself every day to remind yourself. I like to sleep with it in my pillowcase because I use it as energy to bring in what I want. I visualize it, I dream it, and I just always have it with me. Your subconscious mind is the most open to suggestion right before you're going to sleep and right when you wake up. Sometimes I will go to sleep reading this list to myself, and then other times, if I'm too tired and I don't want to do that before I go to sleep, I will wake up and read that list, because our subconscious mind is 88% of our brain power. So when your subconscious mind is in alignment with this list, it will happen so much more quickly. Another idea is to bury it in your garden around your house. Burying this list is bringing it into the earth, bringing it into the here and now. Whatever feels right for you to do with this list is perfect for you. And I am wishing you the most beautiful 2024, and may 2024 be your best year yet.
Thank you, Kristin, so much for that technique. And here's to burning all of our bullshit, right? So you want to make sure to visit Kristin's free hypnosis download. Her hypnosis meditations are so powerful. I will actually listen to them when I sleep. And I've worked one-on-one with her where she will create one. Actually, I think she channels one. And so it's personalized for me, but she has created one for everyone. And so I'm going to link to that in the show notes. So next up is Patty Lennon. You have most likely heard of Patty if you've been listening to me for a while. She's been on this podcast a few times. Patty is one of my closest friends, and we chat with each other just every day. And I really love that she calls me out on my bullshit, and she doesn't run away from the problem. And in fact, that's what she's going to be talking about in this 5 technique, all about the most effective way that she's found to release the sticky, the old kind of icky energy. It could be grief. It could be shame. It could just be a problem. It could be this association with debt, or this association with a behavior pattern or a thought pattern that you just don't want anymore. So Patty is getting ready to share some good information with you. Listen in.
Hey there, this is Patty Lennon, author of Make Space for Magic, and we are talking about releasing. Now, Whitney had asked me, what is my favorite way to release. And I have favorite ways because those denote pleasure and maybe fun, at least in my mind. But what I want to tell you about is the most effective way I know to release, especially when it's something sticky or gnarly like old grief or shame or, even something like a problem in your life. You've got a difficult person, you've got debt, you've got a business that's not doing well right now or working and it's causing you psychic pain or energetic pain or some kind of pain. So what I have found, and this is completely based on my own experiences, but also I do have a master's in psychology. So some of this is coming from the intuitive part of me, but some of it's just coming from my background and my education around brain science. And the thing is, it's very challenging for us to release something that the brain is attached to. And the brain gets attached when it feels that there's a problem to solve. Or it feels that there's something that actually keeps you safe. And in a way, sometimes our guilt or our powerlessness or our shame in a weird way lets the brain think it's keeping you safe because it keeps you stuck. And the brain is designed to keep us from changing, at least the fear brain. So to me, the best way to release is to find a way to get underneath it and get the brain to let go. And then match that with a metaphysical process. And so it's very simple, not easy, but simple. And that is the thing that you're trying to release is first fully receive it. And what I mean by that is oftentimes when we're dealing with something uncomfortable, we try and keep it at arm's length. Think of the thing you're trying to release as if it was sitting in front of you and energetically feel how you are most likely like using your energetic arms to just push it away. That's what we all do, right? We're trying to get it away, get it away, get it away. But that actually creates resistance, and resistance keeps us stuck. So how do we do the opposite? And that is to stop pushing it away and let it wash over you. That will likely feel scary because it doesn't feel good. It's the whole reason you want to release it, right? But as you let it wash over you, use your breath to let it move throughout your body. At first, it may feel stuck somewhere. Just keep using your breath to visually move it through your body. Even if it's something concrete like debt, most likely the debt itself isn't the problem. It's your fear of the debt. Or maybe a launch isn't going well. It's not the launch that's the problem. It's the fear of what the repercussion is if it doesn't go well. So just allow it to move over your body. I promise you, despite what you may have been taught, you are not attracting more of this by letting it in. You're actually letting it tell its story to you so that you can finally release it. So continue to use your breath to move it through your body. The faster you get it to move from your head to your feet with your breath, the readier it's going to be to let go. And once you get it to the point where it is moving pretty fluidly through your body, you'll notice it doesn't really feel like it's got power over you anymore. At that point, then, and here's the favorite part, this is the fun part, let it flow up through the top of your head into a balloon, a balloon you visualize, and then just release the balloon up into the air. Now, for me, I find that the words I use are God or source or divine. Whatever your word is to your higher power, maybe it's to your spirit team, just picture that balloon going up to them and them being ready to catch it. And know once you've let it go, your prayer is set that you want to be freed from this for good. Sending you so much love. This work is so important. Anytime you free yourself from something that's keeping you stuck or holding you back, you heal something for the entire world. Much love.
Thank you, Patty, so much for sharing your wisdom with us. And I love how practical these steps are. And just want to share that she's given you something pretty magical. She's all about making space for magic, and she's giving her first chapter to you for free. So check the show notes to download chapter 1 of her book, Make Space for Magic. Next up is Tiffany Neuman. Tiffany is a branding expert, and she is the owner of Your Legacy brand. If you are a spiritual entrepreneur, then you definitely want to listen to this one. She's going to be helping you reflect and release what's no longer working for you in your business in this specific release technique that she's getting ready to share. So if your business has been feeling kind of funky or it's just not aligned to you anymore, you definitely want to give this release ritual a listen right now.
Hey there, Tiffany here, your legacy brand strategist. So oftentimes we want to plan for the new year as our year comes to a close, when we're reflecting, recharging, and strategizing for a new year. The thing is, your brand is your most valuable asset in your business. So when we're thinking about strategy, I always like to suggest that people circle back to the foundation of their business, which is their brand. So there's some steps I'm going to share with you today on how to really reflect on your brand's identity, how that affects your business, and then release what's no longer serving you so you can start the year fresh with an amazing new strategy and really be sure that you reach your goals. So a brand is not just a logo or a product. It's the heart and soul of your business. Take a moment to reflect on the identity of your brand. What does it represent? Does it communicate your values, your mission, your unique selling points effectively? If it's not resonating with your audience and you cannot clearly and effectively share your message, that's going to hold your business back. Next, you want to evaluate your brand's strengths and weaknesses. Just like you evaluate your personal strengths and weaknesses, when you evaluate your brand, you can really see what aspects of the brand help you succeed this year, or are there areas that need improvement? Perhaps it's your messaging. Perhaps your website needs a facelift. This can be the foundation of your strategy for the new year when you sit with and really reflect on what your strengths and weaknesses are. Next, you want to make sure that to truly align your brand with your vision, because your vision for your business is going to evolve over time. So oftentimes our brand becomes unaligned. If we've pivoted in our business and we haven't updated either our messaging or our visual brand, it's really going to confuse our audience, and it's not going to give us the clarity and the confidence that we need to promote ourselves to serve our ideal clients. Consistency in your brand identity is vital for building that trust and recognition. Once you make sure that your brand is aligned with your vision, you want to make sure that your messaging is fully on point, because how you communicate your brand is the number one thing that can move the needle in your business. When it's clear, compelling, and relevant in this fast-paced, crazy competitive market online, the well-crafted message in your brand will truly be a game changer. That leads to engaging with your audience. Is the audience still the audience that you love serving? So often, if our messaging isn't aligning, we're not attracting those perfect clients. So next, I want you to assess your audience. Are these the people that you want to keep attracting? If so, great. That can be part of your strategy. If not, with everything that you looked with your brand to release, what can you release, or what do you need to shift to then attract your perfect ideal audience? Last, after you've taken these steps and really given a well-rounded view at your brand, I want you to develop a brand strategy for the new year. This can mean looking through and again, seeing what you want to bless and release. What are you ready to move on from? And what would you want to invite in instead? Blessing and releasing can mean making a plan for the new year to maybe reinvent your messaging, create a new website, work with someone like myself in your brand strategy, and or just really shifting things in your brand to get to your goals. So I want to offer you a few ways that you can do this. One being journaling, of course. One being doing polls with your audience to see if they're resonating with your messaging and your brand. And the last one would be meditation. I find myself a lot of times really getting answers during meditation that I wouldn't expect, say, asking around my brand, and the perfect solution comes to me. So last but not least, make sure that you're staying consistent and authentic. When your website and social media profiles and everything in your stratosphere of your brand is all aligned, this is when you're going to build trust and foster those amazing, loyal customers. So again, your brand is your most valuable asset. As the year ends, take time to reflect on the identity, evaluate the brand strengths and weaknesses, and ensure it aligns with your evolving vision. Refining your messaging, engaging with your audience, and developing that clear brand strategy is the perfect way to bless and release any energy that's dragging your business and your brand down. This will allow you to show up confidently and with clarity in the new year, despite any circumstances that are helping with the world or happening in the world. This will help you innovate your business and flourish in the new year. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at Tiffany Neuman Creative, or check out yourlegacybrand.com if you'd like any more support or information. And cheers to 2024.
Oh, that was really great. And it's so good to think about your business as you move into the new year. So if you're ready for a breakthrough in your brand, I'm going to be sharing with you a free gift that Tiffany has agreed to give you. It's a private podcast, and she's going to be sharing the 5 secret variables to develop a more truly profitable and memorable brand. So you can check the show notes to listen in and get more of this good, juicy information. Next up is Allyson Scammell. Allyson has been on this podcast before, and you know those people that you just meet and you feel an immediate alignment? This is definitely Allyson. The more she and I talked, the more we had in common. It's one of those moments where you just know that things are aligned. And she's going to be giving you her favorite release techniques, no matter what the issue is. What I love about this technique is you are asking yourself, you're asking your intuition questions, the deep questions that you need to really sit with. And this has worked so well for her and all of her clients. So get a pen and paper and make sure to jot these questions down. They're going to be so helpful for you.
Hi, Allyson Scammell here, and I'm so excited and thrilled to be participating in Whitney's amazing podcast episode about the best release rituals at the end of the year. I love this topic because I think for me, the most powerful thing we can do at the end of any cycle, and the calendar year is a cycle, and that is to reflect back on our pain and our struggles. 2 things we typically don't want to think about. Those are the things we typically want to avoid because they are painful. But we're missing an enormous opportunity by avoiding the pain, because inside the pain is our biggest gifts, our biggest opportunities to heal, learn, grow, and evolve. So if you're looking back at the calendar year, what were your top 2 to 3 biggest struggles, biggest pain points in your life, in your business? So let's say you've identified the first one. You want to go through and ask the question, what is ready to be released here? What are the energy blocks? What are the pain pockets that don't serve you anymore and are ready to be released? And you do that by identifying the thought that's triggering the pain. Imagine that thought is 100% true. And then feel the feels that the thought triggers for about 60 to 90 seconds. That is the energy release process. Once you do that, you return to deep breaths, deep inhales, deep exhales, come back into the present moment, connect your heart energy, and then ask, talk to the struggle, ask it, why were you here? What is the lesson you were trying to give me? Because it's our challenges that trigger us in ways that enable us to heal and also give us the lessons that make us stronger, smarter, better creators, better healers, better servers of our clients in the world. So what was I meant to learn from this challenge? And lastly, I like to ask, because this is important, what is ready to no longer be repeated? So if this is maybe a challenge you've had before and it's something that pops up, now it could be that this is a core wound of yours and the path to healing is a long one. So it's a challenge that's meant to pop up on your path over and over so that you can do the healing you're meant to do. But sometimes we can get caught in the challenge. We get caught in the past results, past outcomes, and we make the assumption that those outcomes are going to happen again. So we get caught in the loop of it. And this we really want to let go of. We want to release those loops that are unnecessarily weighing us down, dragging us down. So you can ask the challenge. And if you're connected to your heart space, you're also going to be connected to your intuition, getting your intuitive guidance. What is ready to not be repeated? What is ready to be shifted into something higher that really serves me on my path so that in the year ahead, I can truly set myself up for the beautiful, luscious, expansive, soul-aligned success that I am destined to experience. So let's go ahead and recap that. Reflect back on the past 12 months. Identify your top 3 struggles. First, ask each pain, what's ready to be healed and released in this moment? Then, what were the lessons I really received and was meant to receive from this challenge? And lastly, what is ready to no longer be repeated? May these insights serve you on your path. Thank you again so much, Whitney, for this opportunity and wishing you blessings.
Thank you so much, Allyson, for sharing your gift and sharing your techniques with us. And Allyson is giving away a gift to help you raise your vibration. This is 10 high vibe minutes, the ultimate morning mindfulness practice. So check the show notes to get your daily practice. And this is really helpful if you are someone who loves to start new intentions or new resolutions for the new year. Now, next up is Anna Kowalska. I met Anna because she invited me to be part of her success salon, which she hosts. And I'm actually going to be a returning guest again in 2024. I love her energy and her excitement. And she is giving you something super special to help you release, an elemental releasing ceremony where she is talking about the different elements and what they symbolize and how you can utilize these wonderful helpers to help you release. So here we go.
Welcome to Elemental End of the Year Ceremony Suggestion. My name is Anna Kowalska. I am a mentor, coach, healer, guide to women who are here to birth their soul's work. They know they are here to serve with something very unique in alignment with their purpose for the new earth. And today I want to introduce you to a different way of releasing the prior year or the year that's ending so you can enter next year ready to create exactly what it is you want to experience in your life. So there are many different ways to release. One of my favorite has been to release through the elements. So I'm inviting you to, in your release ceremony, make a space for deep breath, air and water, fire, earth, and spirit. Every single one of these elements represent not an area of life, but a way in which you express yourself. For example, air is the mental category. It's you at the mental level. It's your thinking. It's your imagination. It's your creativity. It's how you engage using your mental capacity and using your thoughts to create your reality. Water is emotional realm. So it is your feelings, your emotions. It's the things you want to release that no longer feel right, or feel the feelings that you haven't been wanting to feel because you just felt like they weren't okay or too comfortable. And then there is fire. The fire realm is about action, passion, but it's also about illumination. It's about seeing what you have been blind to, seeing what gets to be released. So inviting fire to illuminate and burn out everything that no longer serves you. And then there is earth. Earth represents the physical realm. It represents everything that's tangible in your life that no longer serves you, but also it is systems that you get to either release or implement. And because we're talking about releasing, it's what no longer serves you in a realm of systems. What is tangibly present in your life that you may be doing on a regular basis that no longer serves you? And the last one is the element of spirit. It's the divine union of masculine and feminine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It is you represented in the spirit realm. It is you tapping into your connection, into the realm, energetic realm, where everything already is exactly as it should be for your highest good. So inviting every single one of these realms, elements, to revisit what gets to be released through your mental realm, your emotional realm, your action realm, and your physical realm, and then ending beautifully with the spirit. So I use this release ceremony to, instead of looking at areas of life, I look through the elements to help identify what it is that no longer serves me, that I get to release, that gets to stay behind. So I have a clean slate for what it is that I want to create for the upcoming year. Give it a try and let me know how it worked for you. My name is Anna Kowalska. You can find me on social media at Anna, the Manifesting Artist. And I have a beautiful gift for you, the purpose prayer that has been activated to support you in clarity in how it is you are here to serve. Enjoy this elemental releasing ceremony, and let me know how and what has shown up for you to release. Have a beautiful end of the year.
Thank you so much, Anna. And Anna is giving you a free gift, an activated purpose prayer to help you activate your life purpose. So definitely check the show notes so you can get your hands on that. Our guests have been so generous. And now we have one last guest, my friend Candice Hozza. Candice really loves to work in the Akashic Records. So before we get to this part, I want you to find a place where you can relax. Do not drive. This is a meditation, and this is why I'm including it in the last portion of our episode here today. This is going to be a great way to heal and release whatever is no longer serving you from the Akashic Records. I can tell that she's definitely channeling this because of her tone and the energy. So sit back, relax, make sure you're ready for a meditation, and listen in.
Thank you, Whitney, for inviting me to share my favorite healing technique. Instead of talking about it, I decided to create a short meditation just for you. My name is Candice Hozza. I'm an author and a speaker, a business intuitive, and I read and heal in the modality of the Akashic Records. Why I fell in love with the Akashic Records is because there's a healing component in this modality, and it felt so complete, and my heart and my life started to take a new shape and move forward. The Akashic Records, if you're wondering, are simply a database of your soul connected to divine source. They're an infinite space of wisdom, truth, and love, and they hold the infinite possibilities to heal past, present, and future which gives the soul the ability to heal more completely. This meditation is a healing or a clearing around money with an energy attunement of an abundance blueprint. And taking a deep breath in, and so we begin. Closing your eyes, I invite you to take a deep breath of love, grace, and forgiveness of self and others. That's right. As you take this deep breath in, just gently fall into that beautiful heart space. That's right, you're doing great. And remember, that little kid inside of you, we're going to invite that little kid to come out and play with bubbles. Today, we're just going to make one really big bubble. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath. And when you breathe in and when you blow out one really big bubble, as big as you need for you to step fully and completely inside. There you go. That's right. If you need to take 2 big breaths, that's all right. There you go. Now go on and step in that bubble of protection. This is a bubble of light. It's a bubble of love. It's a bubble of joy. And for a little bit, it's all yours. It's safe. A safe space where you're going to stay for just a little while. So go on and test your new environment. Sometimes when you put your arm up through a bubble, it makes a sound. Go on and try it. Blue, 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 blue. Now pull your arm back down in. Blue, blue, blue. And your little girl self starts to giggle. But then you start to realize there's this warmth all around you like liquid gold. And your attention turns right above your head and your crown chakra starts to open up like a flower. And the gentle liquid starts pouring in. It's a beautiful, soft, warm feeling. And before you know it, you start feeling this warmth slowly and gently going through your body. And as you breathe in, you notice that all that warm liquid gold is starting to float into your heart space. And you might feel that gentle rhythm in your heart. And somewhere deep inside of you, you realize how much of a gift that you are to this world. And as you take a deep breath in, you bring that into your heart space. And this realization brings you peace and happiness. That you do have a life purpose, and in this moment, you remember it fully and completely in your heart. And that purpose is so much easier than you thought. And it makes so much more sense when you visit it in this heart space and you decide to release any spaces that feel complicated or feel hurt or feel pain. And just taking in one big breath and breathing it out in this moment, just all of it, just releasing it all. And now you remember there's so much more space. And you remember how you stood in a line and you decided that this purpose inside of you is exactly what you wanted to bring to this world, this place we call University Earth. And that gentle liquid that's pouring inside of your body, you might even take your hands and gently place it over your heart and connect to this most beautiful sacred space. As you connect again with the rhythm, you start realizing those broken cracks in your heart have been fully and completely filled in. And as you breathe out one more beautiful deep breath and out, you realize that there's this little joystick inside your bubble. And anytime that you want to come back and play, you can. But for right now, you're going to land safely in your bubble, in your beautiful bubble, in this world that you've created by releasing all that's no longer serving you and filling your heart with joy, love, courage, and gratitude. Taking in a deep breath as you release and reconnect and awaken, feeling fresh and healed. Many blessings to you in this moment with love and light, abundance and joy.
I hope now that you're feeling a bit lighter and that you've really enjoyed this podcast episode. And you can always come back to it to listen to each person's techniques or to try a technique. And we want to hear from you. Message me over on Instagram and tell me what you loved about this episode, which technique is really working for you, and your experience as you go through these techniques. So make sure to check the show notes for all of these free gifts that our wonderful friends have given us. And I wish you a wonderful new year. I will be back in 2024 with a brand new episode. But until then, here's to staying spiritual and ambitious. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And if you loved it, would you please share it with a friend? I would also love your review and a reminder to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me at messengerspirit.com, and you can take the 4 Intuitive Languages quiz and find show notes there too. If you want to connect on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find me at Messenger of Spirit. I'll meet you right here next week. Here's to staying spiritual and ambitious.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.